Silver Run in Ritchie County, West Virginia. Looks like a ghost town today, but a century ago, it was a busy railway town. And believe it or not, a town with a ghost even then. Folks around here believe that this tunnel is haunted by a phantom traveler, still lingering from those days. These paranormal investigators have been here before. They felt an overwhelming presence of somebody who tried to scare them away.
My friend Tom Moore and I had decided to go do a little impromptu investigation of Silver Run Tunnel to investigate the hauntings there. Just do a little exploring, just the two of us. It was a warm night, but as we got closer to it, the air began to get really cold. And we were snapping some pictures. And when the light would flash and light up the tunnel, you could see.
It was a very unusual night for us. The tunnel got icy cold real quick, and as we were taking photos, this lady who had long dark hair and a white gown on, she began appearing to us.
And when I would snap my camera, the flash would illuminate the tunnel, and I saw the ghost.
And she began screaming to us as if she didn't want us inside the tunnel. And at that time, Crystal had backed up into the wall, and I had noticed that, and I took hold of Crystal, and at that time I felt that we should actually move on and to leave the tunnel.
I looked over to Tom because he'd reached out and grabbed me, and he saw her too. And that was amazing to know that, this was really happening. This was going on to someone besides just me, that what I was seeing was real. And it was terrifying. We decided we had to leave. We couldn't stay and investigate it, just the two of us. Right now, we'll have to go back with my investigative unit at some point in the future when I gather up my courage a little bit.
It was late in August, under a harvest moon. The engineer on B&O's night train was drinking coffee to stay alert. He had done the run 100 times before. Just as he rounded the bend into the Silver Run tunnel, tunnel number 19, he saw a woman dead ahead, standing on the tracks. He blasted the whistle, but she was frozen to the spot. Frantically, the engineer applied the brakes. A second before impact, she flew up and disappeared into the foggy night. The engineer feared the worst. He imagined the horror of finding her body, ravaged by the train, her white skin spattered with blood. He searched everywhere, but there was no sign of a body. Had it been just an apparition? When he pulled into the 6th Street station in Parkersbug, the engineer raced to report what happened.
You wouldn't believe what I just saw. This girl, she stepped right in front of the cab. I swear to God, I killed her. And I didn't find her body anywhere.
It's all right. I've been getting reports about this all night. I believe you.
You believe me? But I didn't kill her? She's not dead?
My grandmother told me, as the story goes, there was a young woman riding the train into Parkersbug to meet her betrothed.
The people of Parkersbug claim that this young woman, whose name is unknown, was riding the train to meet and marry her fiancé. She was a small-town girl and was nervous about traveling this long distance. But she may have had another suitor, a very jealous one, who did not look kindly upon her intended marriage. The conductor eased the young woman's fears and helped settle her on the train, not realizing this would be the last time he'd see her.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy your ride with us.
The woman's proudest possession was a necklace given to her by her betrothed. It would be crucial to discovering what happened to her.
Now, many say that young lady was murdered.
That night, as the train made its way through the dark, the jealous suitor, it is theorized, took his revenge for being rejected by the woman he loved. Later, when the conductor returned, he told the police there was no sign of the girl. All that remained was her luggage and her diary, which she had been writing in up to the moment of her disappearance.
Others say she simply jumped off the train. For whatever reason, she vanished, and many believe her to be that ghost of Silver Run.
Who is the pale beauty who haunts Silver Run? Our paranormal team finds out.
There was another engineer by the name of O'Flannery. He was of Irish descent, and he heard this story about a woman that haunts the Silver Run Tunnel out in Ritchie County, West Virginia, and how she would stand at the mouth of the tunnel, and the engineers would bring their trains to a stop. And he said, O'Flannery actually said, that no ghost was going to stop his train. He would run her down first. It was approximately 2 weeks later, on a full moon night, when O'Flannery was coming up on the old Silver Run Tunnel. And of course, there she was, standing at the mouth of that tunnel, with the black hair, the white skin, the pale, pale dress. She looked at him and locked eyes with O'Flannery. But O'Flannery did exactly as he promised he would do. He put that train on full throttle, and he drove it toward that ghost of Silver Run. She looked at him and locked eyes with O'Flannery. And as she did with the other engineers, she seemed to go up into the air like a great white bat and was spirited away into the darkness. Quite pleased with himself, about 45 minutes later, O'Flannery pulled his train up to the old 6th Street train station in Parkersbug to see the station all abuzz with excitement and activity. And he said, "What's going on? What's this activity? Why is everyone so excited?" They said,
"Yeah, well, we know what happened, actually. You would not believe this.
Telegram after telegram saying a woman was on your train."
That's right. So the joke's on you now, Buster.
As she was riding that platform through many of these old stations like Cairo, Goose Creek, Petroleum, there were train stations there, and they were telegraphing into Parkersbug, "There's a woman on the train! There's a woman on the train!" As O'Flannery pulls up that engine, that ghost of Silver Run promptly disappeared. Phantom travelers are a universal phenomenon. It's not unusual for spirits to actually haunt planes, trains, and automobiles. It isn't a good idea to challenge a ghost as O'Flannery did, the ghost of Silver Run. She made a mockery of him. Many years ago, my grandmother told me they were dismantling a part of the Silver Run tunnel, and when they pulled out some of the bricks, they found the skeleton of a young woman walled up inside. How did they know that it was the skeleton of a young woman? She was wearing a long white bridal gown. After they gave a proper burial to this skeleton, they said that the ghost of Silver Run was not seen again. However, many people still report sightings of her at the Silver Run Tunnel and claim that she still haunts that area.
Even though they were terrified their first time in the tunnel, the paranormal team decided to brave another visit.
Immediately as we came into the Silver Run Tunnel, the first thing I saw, actually visually, this was not an internal psychic impressions as most of mine are, was there was a white flutter, a pale white flutter. It was probably about 4 feet across. It didn't really look human. It had a misting kind of quality to it, but it did reflect light. And I do strongly feel Mary Burkhart's presence in this tunnel right now with us.
What I'm trying to accomplish here is have a night shot camcorder, and I'm trying to catch anything of the paranormal that may be able to be picked up by it that we're unable to pick up with the naked eye.
We're hoping to get some photographs of the ghost, either in the form of orbs, or preferably an ectoplasm mist or an apparition, which is always the goal because it's the most definite proof.
When you get high readings in here in Silver Run and you sight an apparition or a spirit or a ghost, it may be Mary Burkhart. But I also get the feeling there are a lot of other spirits that haunt this particular tunnel as well. So it's a very active place. It's almost become like an energized portal for spirit activity. The other thing I picked up with going into Mary Burkhart's murder is a conductor. And I'm thinking, what is this? What is his place in this murder? The feeling I'm getting is a young relative of his was riding the train, and he abducted and raped and killed Mary. But the conductor plays into this. He was not totally innocent in this, and he knew and helped cover up this murder. I'm seeing a pale gray, like apparition, wearing like a hat and a gray uniform.
Right over here, right? To the left of the wall.
I heard something down this way. Down this way, right down here. Just a second ago. What is that?
It sounded like it was right in this area.
It sounded like something fell down this way, like someone walking and there was
Like someone fell down, but there's no one back there. We rushed down to look, and there's no one here, but it sounded just like someone fell down.
It sounded like a body.
Yeah.
A body had been dumped out. It was over that way. Well, I'm picking up here more on the conductor. Right now in this section of the tunnel, more like the conductor.
As she was talking about the conductor, it spiked up to a 5.
Look how much the temperature's dropped since we've been here. The activity level is really picking up. We're getting a lot of energy. You start seeing your breath. It's probably dropped 25 degrees since we've been here. We haven't been here very long.
Oh, it just dropped a little more.
Definite cold spots.
We're down to some 58.
I see a lot of shapes and forms in here, really apparitional shapes and form, gray, white, black, just permeating the whole tunnel. It's like we're being followed by a dozen people.
I keep hearing footsteps coming up behind us. Whoa. And my camera just shut off.
We're getting some more temperature drops. It's 55.
55.
Yeah. What's that? 51, 50. The temperature just keeps dropping rapidly. We went from 75 to 50 within 3 minutes. And that's not a normal temperature variance, even in the tunnel. Did you see that?
There's a face. There's a face in the picture. It's a great picture.
Looks great. In this picture, it looks like there's a face peering out of the safety hole. I took it right up here. And these were safeties for the workers that were, as they were working in the tunnel or if someone was coming through the tunnel, so they could duck into there and not get hit by a train.
I've been hearing footsteps coming up behind us. And there isn't anything down there. Like someone's walking back there.
We had just gotten here, James and I, and we were walking from one entrance to the other, and we had seen some shadow people moving through about the tunnel. One particular incident happened just right over here, where a person was standing about 4 feet away from the wall, and then they just stepped over close to the wall. We walked down there, and there was nobody around.
Tonight, we got a lot of positive experiences in this tunnel. We have a lot of EVPs, we have video, we got some great pictures, some fabulous temperature drops. We heard a lot of things we can't explain, and I think this was a very, very successful ghost hunt.
Does the ghost of Silver Run still haunt the tunnel? There are many who swear that she does.